Hi, this is Greg Johnson with resourcesforlife.com, and this is a short video, kind of like a buyer beware video to consumers and internet browsers out there. As you may have heard, the New York Times was essentially, the short word for it is hacked into over the weekend, and actually apparently it's been going on prior to this weekend. This is huge news, big headline news. It's headline news in all of the papers, except the New York Times, who has chosen to, 24 hours after the story has broken, the New York Times has chosen to bury it. It's not showing up on their main homepage on the website at all, which is kind of scandalous, I would think. But let me give you a little recap of what's going on and how all of this happened. A number of years back, the New York Times decided to start selling their readership to advertisers, kind of in the same way that a person sells heads of cattle, at the market by the thousand, So basically, rather than being a primarily journalistic entity, the New York Times decided to get into the business of pop-up advertising, which is even at best kind of sleazy, and unfortunately the ads that they chose to allow on their website, this has been going on for years, have been, at best annoying, but at worst harmful to computers, misleading, false advertising. As soon as I remember the day, I had been an avid in the past, I'd been an avid New York Times reader and supporter. I remember the day that I went to their website, and I didn't even think it was, I thought it was something wrong with my computer. I was getting pop-up ads. Then I thought, well, this is the New York Times. This is not, some third-rate website out there, somebody trying to raise an extra $50 a month. This is the New York Times. And, but I checked again, and sure enough, this was years ago, they started with pop-up ads on their website. And as you know, these clutter your screen, and sometimes they're sort of misleading. It might say, your computer may have been hacked or whatever. So at that point, I stopped visiting the New York Times website, and I advised other people to do the same. Well, what's now happened is, because the New York Times is basically just allowing their website to be open to anybody who wants to advertise on it, including these sort of automated brokerage houses. Essentially, the New York Times doesn't contract with an individual advertiser as such. What could happen is there would just be whatever random ad happens to pop up on a page through a third-party advertising brokerage firm. That's my understanding of it. I don't think that they anymore, work directly with advertisers. Well, what's really pitiful about all this is that there's a very simple solution which has been implemented by millions of other websites, and that is, either have context-sensitive, relevant ads like Google AdSense. It's not new. Or you can have placed advertising. Takes a little time, but it's placed advertising that's relevant, and you've already pre-qualified the advertiser. You know who this advertiser is. And then just advertise with reputable businesses with which you have a known legitimate contact, Well, instead of doing what millions of other websites are doing, the New York Times, unfortunately, has chosen to take the simple, the sleazy, the inconsiderate, the disrespectful route, and they've been doing this day after day, year after year, despite numerous complaints from their readers. And what makes it even worse is, here's the thing. You either offer, like TV networks, right? They offer you free programming, and they pay for that through advertising. Okay, that's easy enough. Or if you pay for the programming, like you pay $20 a month to get some, sports network or something on cable TV, if you're paying for the advertising, then you don't expect to also be getting advertisements. I mean, if you're paying for the programming, sorry, you don't expect to be getting advertisements thrown in your face, right? I mean, you either pay for the content you're getting, and it's ad-free, or you are willing to put up with advertisements. It's a standard business model. It's used all over the web and through the media. So anyway, the New York Times has chosen to charge their readership for articles that are, in the archives and that type of thing, and it's a pretty high price. And if you've ever looked into some of the copyright costs, like if you're going to purchase an article for reprint or something, it's huge. It's astronomical. So they're charging upwards to hundreds of dollars for somebody to use an article, and then they're also throwing advertising in your face. It's really pitiful. So anyway, my advice is, number one, just boycott the New York Times until they get their act together and figure out a way to offer safe, relevant, and content-relevant advertising. That's number one. Number two, if you must use a Windows computer, then make sure you're protected. I, unfortunately, this past week had to help a number of computer users who'd been unfortunate enough to visit the New York Times website. Their computers got hacked, and so because they were using, this one person was using Trend Micro, some other folks were using Symantec, and so these name brand spyware, adware, antivirus products like Symantec and McAfee and Trend Micro, I don't know. I've been working with computers for 25 years. I don't know how you can make a product that fails this miserably. But anyway, these people got hacked into who had virus protection. So I would recommend AVG antivirus. It's a simple product. It's quick to update. It doesn't have a lot of extra junk in there. It's not a complete security suite. It's just antivirus. And if you have the choice, if you're buying a new computer, consider buying an Apple computer. They're, at present, much more secure, much more user-friendly, and reliable, dependable, efficient, and over the long haul, they're more cost-effective. So, anyway, wag the finger, New York Times, get your act together. I hope everybody's doing well. Hope you didn't get hacked by the stupid New York Times advertising virus. And again, buyer, surfer, beware. The corporations are out to just get every penny they can, even if it isn't in the best interest of their customers and their readers. Take care. Bye-bye.